Hey, what's going on, everybody? Dave back again with video number 2, and this one is of the Nathan Drake from Uncharted series. I think it's Uncharted 3. Nathan Drake premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. Yes, I don't have a motor on my thing, and even if I had one, it probably wouldn't run because it's too heavy. So I'm manually turning it as the figure turns. Anyway, so this is the premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. It is in quarter scale, and this thing is just phenomenal. Since my PS3 died, I don't know what, not this last December. God, it's been almost a year since it died. I haven't played any games or anything, which, I mean, other than on PC. PlayStation wise, I haven't played any games, and so I did play the first one. I really like the series. I like the character. Reminded me a lot like kind of mixture between Tomb Raider and Indiana Jones, and it was just very cool. So this guy here, he does, I'll just do a quick overview. You've got the base here, which is it's not a polystone base. It's actually like a resin plastic base, and I think that's to keep down the weight on here. We'll pan down just a little bit here. So you've got this shelf. You don't have any like name plating on here saying, you know, PlayStation 3, Naughty Dog, Sideshow, or anything like that. Though that it is on the underside of the base. And this is number 125 of 500 of the exclusive. Now I don't have the box up here because the box is big. It's too big to get in the thing. But you know, you guys can go to sideshow.com or sideshowtoy.com, and he is still available, I think, in the regular. I don't know about the exclusive if they're still available. But so you've got the base, you've got this kind of wind-blown sand that's down here on the bottom, which goes all the way around on here. Then you have the rock wall, which he's hurdling, and you can actually see, and it actually looks like the sculptors took and you know, placed actual stones in here instead of molding you know, of sculpting everything, which, you know, is right in my book of doing it, because it makes it look more realistic. You know, what could be more realistic looking like a rock than a rock. So you have that, and then you have basically like the plaster shell that goes around. You can see it's worn. You've got some weathering on here. You've got more here. Now there is, and I'm not going to pull it off, there is a peg that goes into the base here for this foot, and then this wrist just sits on the hand, and there is, I believe, a magnet that's in there. So those are the only two pieces, only two parts that are actually of the figure that's touching the base. You can see, you know, you've got some freckling in here. I really like how they ended up doing it. You know, some people criticize, you know, and I do understand that these are painted 500 of these, and even more of just the base were done for the regular version, you know, in a factory line in China, you know, at a factory that ends up doing that. You can Google on, or not Google, but you know, you can look on YouTube. There are a couple videos from, God, I'm trying to think. They've been around so long, from back when I used to collect. I want to say it was the factory production of Dark Child. Is that right? I think so. Where they were doing like 500 of her, something like that, and there was literally like a factory line just body, head. Everybody had a part that they were painting or doing something with, and that was their sole specific job, was that. So basically same thing on here. You had one person that was responsible for painting maybe a section of the rocks, or maybe all the rocks. You had a person that was responsible for painting all this part. You had another person that was responsible for doing the weathering, things like that. Now I will tell you, as I go along here, I am going to be doing some repainting on here. Just some touch-ups, some more weathering. You can kind of see there's kind of a funky weathering pattern right here. It's kind of out of place. It should have been like up more or something. It's funky with where it is. I'm not going to repaint everything. I'm just going to do some touch-ups on it here and there and just make things pop. Okay, so if we pan up, bring in a little bit closer. Alright, so we have on the boots on here, and now the whole body is actually polystone. It is very hard, very durable, so which means it's very heavy. The boots are full boots, as you can see, so they didn't skimp and just do down to here. The pants are cloth, well weathered actually. I was thinking about hitting them with some steam to get out some of these odd wrinkles, but you can see that they've dusted. Like, it looks kind of like greasy and grime on here, on the areas, the knees, the inside of the thighs, that would actually end up, rubbing as you were walking through the desert, through wreckage and grime and things like that. So heavier on the knees, as if he had kneeled, or you're wiping your, as guys, we end up having a tendency, we wipe our hands on freaking everything, and this is no exception. The boots, everything on the boots are sculpted and then painted, and I'm pretty sure, I'm going to do some research, I'm pretty sure on the boots here in real life that this part, and this part are supposed to be cloth. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to do some research and see if I can find some online, because I might do some touch-ups and repainting on that part. You've got this part. The soles are actually pretty awesome. If you can see the underside of this one, let me tilt it up a little bit. It's actually got the tread pattern and everything on there. Again, on this one, so they are secured in the legs, they are epoxied in. Again, on this side, you have a pocket. It is not functioning, it is sewn shut, but you have a pocket here on the pants. You have little buttons on the back here. You've got pocket flaps and buttons. You've got an actual, and this is what I love, you've got an actual leather belt. You've got the t-shirt. You can just kind of pop that so that it sits naturally. Up in here, I don't think I can catch it, and I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see if I can do this without dropping everything. Actually, I might be able to do it this way. Where's my handy dandy iPhone? Here's my handy dandy iPhone. If you can see it, I'm trying to shine a light up in there. He's got his belt buckle with the horseshoe on it. So, and there are actual belt loops and everything on there. Now, if we move up the figure, I know I'm going to end up probably smacking the camera. Almost. It just barely clears it. On the upper torso, you've got the t-shirt here. You've got buttons on the shirt. You do have the necklace. I do have to pop this off, and if you look at the pictures of how it's supposed to be, at least in the artwork, which I have right here. This is one of them, of the artwork. There's actual, it loops around on there. It doesn't sit like this, so that part will, I'll pull that off and fix that. So I'm actually going to kind of repaint this guy to match this portrait because I really like it. Not that there's anything wrong with this. He is a little orangey for my taste, and we'll get to those issues here in a few minutes. But as far as continuing on the upper side, sure, it's all weathered, kind of grimy. You can feel the his muscles and things like that underneath, and yes, he is painted underneath, not to the extent of everything else though. Now, as far as he's got his holster part, which you can see there, great detail on that part. The buckle parts are plastic, along with these. All of this part though is actually leather, which I when they use real materials like that, I give them full props for that. There is the little bag. There's like a foam block in there. It does not open though. It is glued shut. But you do have like the side pouch here. You've got his holster here, which I'm trying to find a good way to show you guys. Holster, which has pistol in it. Good detail, not accurate or clean or anything like that, but it's a for what it is, it's not a hot toy pistol, but it's a damn good replica on there. Again, leather. You got buckles. A few of these, when you get them, you are going to like this one. It's slipping out right now. So I may get a little bit loud because I'm on the wrong side of the microphone or the filter. But let me see if I can do this on camera for you guys without cussing. Come on. Come on. And I have some tweezers. The master of having every tool for every occasion. Don't ask me with my funky fingers. Now, if you collect statues, I definitely recommend. I'm trying to do this so you guys can see. So if you have the same issue, I definitely recommend getting some tweezers. Especially for your hot toys, because their parts are so small. There we go. There. Much better. Got a foam on there. I just actually noticed this, so he does actually have pockets, and they are actual pockets. Like they actually go in. So it's not just a little flap or anything. So that part I wasn't expecting that. You don't even see them because they're all crinkled up and everything, but yeah, they're actual working front pockets, hand pockets. So going through, you have the harness, the gun hangs here, comes up. Now you'll notice that it's kind of sitting funky, and so I'm going, not right now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do some tweaking with that so that it lays flatter on there. Sometimes what you can do, I've done it on clients' things before, is you can take an eyedropper and just wet this down, wet down the leather, then stretch it out, and just let it sit. Maybe put a paper clip or something on there to hold it in that position, and thinning that out, you can get a nice uniform flatness to it, because these are smaller than real, so you're not able to get that really flat buckle look. Now he does have a bandolier on. It is in two pieces that are on him. You've got this this buckle. Yep, see, I told you guys I was going to hit it. And then there's one down here. Now this side you've got pouches. They do not open. They are glued shut. There is, I actually don't know if there's anything in there or not. I think it's just the puffiness of the leather itself. But again, these are leather, and I think these are probably just little plastic studs that are on here. This side up here, you actually have bullets for the gun that are in here. Again, these flaps are leather but glued down with that. The bullets themselves are sculpted, then glued on, so you can see that. Again, we get to this. Let's see, what else we got? We have the, what do they call it? The Sherpa, or the scarf, which I really like. There is a wire that goes all the way through the length of it, so that you can fully pose however you want with it. Get a nice flow to it, and that's one of the things I love about this piece, is it's dynamic. I don't like the superhero poses where it's just in that museum pose, I guess is how you would end up putting it. I can't stand those. And I try not to have any of my stuff like that, and that's just a quirk of my own. But I really like this because it's dynamic. Now this does tend to ride up, and I will end up having to modify this. Now the head is one piece, and it's held in by a magnet. There is a key that goes in, not a real key, but modelers will know what I'm talking about, or statue collectors will know what I'm talking about a key. That plugs in. There is a magnet in there, holds his head on, and it actually goes down into here, not just at the neckline. So even if you don't have this on, you're not going to end up seeing that seam line. Now I don't have the regular arm out. This is the exclusive arm. Now I will give one thing. The arm is a little bit loose how it sits in there, and I don't know if that's because maybe it's not staying flush enough, it's not making enough contact, but because the regular arm does fit in there really good. But again, this is the exclusive that has the I don't know if it's the AK, or I don't know if it's the AK, but that's what it kind of looks like. Maybe I've just been playing too much Call of Duty. Okay, okay. So going over again, this is the exclusive arm, and I'm gonna flip you guys down like this, and find a good focus. Get you guys. Yeah, I changed my lighting, so I have my heavy light, instead of being across the room, it's right overhead, and it's still getting some used to. So as far as the gun goes, it is a basic just coloring. It's like a flat black with a dry brushing of gunmetal over it. We're going to spruce that up. You do have the details of the sight and everything, but they went a little heavy on a couple of things. Now the wood grain painting on the handle is actually pretty good. You know, if we get in close enough, it actually simulates wood grain pretty good. So I gotta give props to to the guy that did that. Now on the arm, I'm sure you can see, because I can see it on camera, it's a little heavy-handed on the freckling and also the shading in there. It's got nice vein, you know, sculpted in veins and everything. They went a little well, not a little, a lot too heavy on in the fingernails as far as the whites, because, well, if you look at mine compared to it, yeah, you do get some white back here, and you will have a little white up there. But he's been out in the desert, so you're going to have more grime and stuff underneath the nails, and it's not going to be so like he just left from getting a medi-pedi. And then that's not going to be so defined. So that's something that's going to end up getting repainted on there. They did do a good job. Like this one. This one's not too bad. They threw a wash on there, so you get it around the nail, you get it on the joints. These ones, they seem to kind of missed. Again, this is not a fault on Sideshow. This is a fault on the paint app in the factory. Detail on the elbow is awesome. You know, props to the sculptor on that for getting those little details. So all in all, you know, good job on the arm. Unless you're on it and you are a painter, modeler, so on and so forth yourself, you're not really going to notice it. I notice it, so I gotta fix it. Alright, so we'll straighten out those wrinkles, make them look a little more natural. So we've got that. On this arm over here, you've got the watch, which I'm assuming that's a decal that's on there for the face. The band is sculpted. It's not painted badly, but they did kind of go over. They didn't stay within the lines on the arm, painting the band, so that's going to get cleaned up. The hand, the wrinkles and everything of how you would end up doing this, like if you're trying to do that, very well done. Again, with the nail issue, that's going to get touched up, given a wash over, and then just touching up the paint on the arms and everything. Now this one is fully sculpted up. Again, detail on the elbows, you know, in case you had them showing. I kind of like it like that. And then on the face, so the face is really well done. I mean, he's even got pores, things like that. And what's nice is this isn't just from you know, a photograph of an actor or anything like that. You know, this is taken from a digital, so he doesn't technically exist. So I think they did really good. You've got some scruff and everything that is sculpted on, and then it's lightly shaded, and like I showed you in the picture, I'm going to end up going through darkening that up. I think I'm going to tone down the colors, kind of give them a little more suntan, been beaten by the sun look. And then yeah, the freckling, everything, it's not bad. If you can see the eye color, the eyes are actually straight, looking in the right position. I am going to, there is shading to the eyes, but I'm going to come along and add some highlights and striation and things like that to the eyes, give them more pop. The hair, I am going to just do some touch-ups, things like that, but the hair, as far as the sculpt and everything, could not be any more perfect. all in all, I got to say, for the price and for all of that, for what it is, I've got to give the pricing and everything. It's awesome. Sculpt wise, detail wise, and everything, it's a 10 out of 10. Yes, there are a few little hiccups, but if you're just putting it in your collection and you're a fan of it, or you're just a fan of dynamic poses, this is a definite must-have for a collection. I can't say that it's going to be a grail piece for anybody. Maybe some hardcore gamers, things like that. For me, I love sitting on top of my display shelf down in the living room, overlooking my living room, like she's about to leap down and assassinate one of my cats. But I love it. If you get a chance, pick one of these up. It's a great deal. It's a great sculpt, and I think that's it. And I'm hitting a little bit longer than I thought I would, but I didn't want to be one of those guys trying to review it and jam everything into a 10-minute spot. I'm not that guy, and I'd rather take my time and go over things in detail, because that when I do videos and things, I try and go about it in the viewpoint of what I look for when I want to buy something. I go to YouTube, I look for reviews, things like that. You've got some great reviewers. You've got Sean Long, you've got Statue Hunter 75, so on and so forth, but everything's jammed into a short little 10-minute, and you kind of see it, but you're not quite sure of everything in there. So I may ramble on, but I'm sorry, it's just the way that I end up doing it. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Stick around. I have a big guy on the way. No, not that big guy. I didn't order the Hulk. I so want the Gladiator Hulk, and he's so out of my price range. I don't even know where I'd put him, but I would find a place. Yeah, stick around. I've got something else on the way, along with eventually starting in like November, December. Court of the Dead figures will start rolling in, and I will be doing reviews on each and every one of those, because I've ordered each and every one of those. Again, thanks for sticking around, guys. Everyone have a great night, and until I talk to you again, hopefully later this week, stay safe. Peace out.